This is 9.1. The homework assignment was page 545, 2 to 14 even, and this is page 545, 1 to 13 odd. Okay, for questions 1 through 7, this is what they want us to do. They want us to find f of x plus g of x. That's this. They want us to find f of x minus g of x. They want us to find f of x times g of x, and this is f of x divided by g of x. So let's go ahead and write that. This is f of x plus g of x. This is f of x minus g of x. This is f of x times g of x. And this is f of x divided by g of x. Okay? Alright, so it said on each one they're going to ask us to find f plus g of x, f minus g of x, f times g of x, and f divided by g of x, okay? So we'll start with f plus g of x, which is a, and that is f plus g of x, which is the same thing as f of x plus g of x. So f of x is x minus 7. You will always use parentheses on these problems. Plus g of x is 2x plus 1. In this case, we don't have to distribute anything, so we can just drop the parentheses. Now you're going to combine like terms. X and 2x is 3x, and negative 7 plus 1 is negative 6. That's A. B, they want f minus g of x, which is f of x minus g of x. So we've got x minus 7 minus 2x plus 1. See why your parentheses are so important? Because now we're going to distribute this negative. So we have x minus 7 minus 2x minus 1. Combine your like terms. X minus 2x is negative x, and negative 7 minus 1 is negative 8. So B is negative x minus 8. Alright, C says that they want f times g of x, which is f of x times g of x. So now we're going to do x minus 7 times 2x plus 1. Okay. So you're going to have to distribute. So x goes to both pieces and negative 7 goes to both pieces. So this is 2x squared plus x minus 14x minus 7. When we combine like terms, x minus 14x is negative 13x. So we have 2x squared minus 13x minus 7. And that is letter C. And then letter D, they want f of g of x, which is f of x divided by g of x. So that's going to be x minus 7 over 2x plus 1. And all you have to do with this, since nothing can simplify, you need to tell me what x cannot be. Remember, our denominator can never be 0. So off to the side, you're just going to say 2x plus 1 equals 0. And then solve, giving you 2x equals negative 1. Divide both sides by 2, and you get x equals negative 1/2, but then change that to can't equal. So this and this is part of your answer. So your answer is x minus 7 over 2x plus 1, and x cannot equal negative 1, or negative 1/2, I'm sorry. Alright, we're going to do the same thing again, but with just two different equations here. So again, A wants f plus g of x, which is f of x plus g of x. So f of x is x squared plus 1, and g of x is 5x. Remember, still using parentheses. Because we don't need to distribute anything, we're just going to drop the parentheses. And then honestly, that's your answer. You could rewrite it x squared plus 5x plus 1 if you really wanted to, because that would be math politeness. But in order to save space, I'm going to leave it like that. Alright, letter B is f minus g of x, which is f of x minus g of x. Alright, so we've got x squared plus 1 minus 5x, which is the same as x squared plus 1 minus 5x. And I'm going to have to rewrite this one up here because it's driving me crazy. It's x squared plus 5x plus 1 is how it should be written. And down here, it should be written x squared minus 5x plus 1. My OCD wouldn't allow me to do it. Alright, now they want me to do f times g of x, which is f of x times g of x. So f of x is x squared plus 1, and it's times 5x. Alright, since this is a monomial, we'll just distribute it to both pieces. So that's going to give me 5x squared plus 5x. And that's your answer. And then last, they want us to do f divided by g of x, which is f of x divided by g of x. So in this case, it's going to be x squared plus 1 over 5x. And there's nothing we can do to this to simplify or anything. So we just need to say set your denominator equal to 0. So set 5x equal to 0. Divide both sides by 5. X is 0, but remember, x cannot be 0. So that's part of your answer. X cannot be 0. And a very important part of your answer, because you don't want your answer to be undefined. Alright, here we go. We've got same situation. We're going to start with f plus g of x, which is f of x plus g of x. So we have the square root of x plus x plus 5. Now you don't necessarily need parentheses around this because that's just one term. But you can put them there if you want, which is the square root of x plus 5. None of those are like terms, so you can go ahead and leave it like that. Letter B wants f minus g of x, which is f of x minus g of x, which in this case is the square root of x minus x plus 5. Your parentheses are extremely important in this case because you'll be distributing this negative. So you get the square root of x minus 5. None of them are like terms, so you can go ahead and stop there. Letter C wants f times g of x, which is f of x times g of x.
Good afternoon, pardon the interruption with Ms. Helen.
Okay, so f of x is the square root of x times g of x, which is x plus 5. So you're just going to distribute. So you have x square root of x plus 5 square root of x. And that is as far as you can take it. Alright. Now part D wants f divided by g of x, which is equal to f of x over g of x. and f of x was the square root of x, and g of x, I don't remember, was x plus 5. Okay, so take x plus 5 and set it equal to 0. Subtract 5 from both sides, you get x is equal to negative 5, but remember, it cannot equal that. So part of your answer is x cannot equal negative 5. Now, had this radical been on the bottom, we would have had to multiply by the square root of x over square root of x, because we would need to rationalize the denominator. Alright. Same situation here for number 7. So we've got f plus g of x, which is, remember, f of x plus g of x. So we have negative 3x plus 5x squared. Can't combine those, but I'm just going to go ahead and write them in a better order. And that's all you can do in that case. Letter B is f minus g of x, which again is f of x minus g of x. So then we've got negative 3x minus 5x squared, which again I will write in a better order. And that's all we can do because those are not like terms. Letter C, they want f times g of x, which is a completely unnecessary parenthesis. F of x times g of x. And f of x times g of x is negative 3x times 5x squared. So we get negative 15x cubed. Okay. And then letter D wants f over g of x, which is f of x over g of x. And that would be negative 3x over 5x squared. Okay, so here stuff is actually going to simplify. We can go ahead and cancel this x with one of these x's. And that's going to leave me with negative 3 over 5x. And remember, take your denominator and set it equal to 0. X is equal to 0, but remember, x is not equal to 0. So that's part of your answer. Okay? Alright, so now our situation's a little bit different. Now we're talking about fog and Goff and all that stuff. And the difference of this is fog, which is f of g, is actually equal to f of g of x. So all I do is I take g of x and I plug it in here. So I get f of, instead of g of x, I'm going to write negative 2x. Because they told us that g of x equals negative 2x. So all I did was sub out negative 2x for g of x. And now I have f of negative 2x. So I'm going to plug into f of x, and everywhere that there's an x, I'm going to put negative 2x. So I have negative 2x squared minus 6 times negative 2x plus 2. So f of negative 2x is equal to negative 2 squared is 4x squared. Remember, you square the negative 2 and then you square the x. Negative 6 times negative 2x is positive 12x plus 2. Okay, and now they want to know what fog of 2 is. So we got this, so now everywhere there's an x, we're going to put a 2. Okay. So order of operations says I need to do my exponents first. So it's 4 times 4 because 2 squared is 4, plus 12 times 2 is 24, plus 2. 4 times 4 is 16, plus 24, plus 2. 16 and 24 is 40, plus 2 is 42. So your answer is 42. See, that wasn't so bad. Alright, same situation here. The only difference is we've got Goff instead of fog. And Goff of x is the same as g of f of x. So what's going to happen is instead of f of x, I'm going to put x squared minus 6x plus 2. So then it's g of x squared minus 6x plus 2 equals, so now we plug all of this in everywhere we see an x value in g. So it's going to be negative 2 times x squared minus 6x plus 2. So we're going to distribute this negative 2. You always need to bring down this stuff so you know what everything is. So this is negative 2x squared plus 12x minus 4 when I distribute the negative 2. And now they want to know Goff of negative 1. So everywhere that there's an x, I'm going to put a negative 1. So I have negative 2 times negative 1 squared plus 12 times negative 1 minus 4. Exponents first, negative 1 squared is just 1. 12 times negative 1 is negative 12 minus 4. Negative 2 times 1 is negative 2 minus 12 minus 4. So Goff of negative 1, negative 2 minus 12 is negative 14, minus 4 is negative 18. Alright, and last one. I'm not sure what they would call this one. Guh. I really do amuse myself. Alright, so guh. It is the same as g of h of x. So instead of h of x, oh, hold on, something's wrong here. Okay, h of x was not listed. So let me go ahead and list from the book h of x for you. H of x is equal to the square root of x. There you go. Okay, so instead of h of x, I'm going to plug in square root of x. So then it's going to become g of the square root of x. So then looking at my g equation, I'm just going to plug in square root of x everywhere there's an x. So it's negative 2 square root of x. But remember, we want g of 0. So then everywhere there's a x, I'm going to plug in a 0. So what is the square root of 0? Square root of 0 is 0. And what is negative 2 times 0? Yeah, it's 0. So that's your answer. That's it. Guys, have a great night.